Good evening, everyone. Hi, and welcome to another Watch Me Work Wednesday live as I go through the Seek, Gather and Create the mixed media, scavenger hunt challenge that's on in February. I know February's half over, but they also have one in August as well. So it doesn't mean you can't go back and do the other weeks. This is week 3 that I'm looking at today, but you can still join in for weeks 3 and 4. They do have some little prizes and that they give away if that's of interest to you, but of course you can always go back and do number 1 and 2, but you probably won't be eligible for the prizes. I'm not sure when they deliver those. Okay, so here it is here, Inspired Art Journaling. There's our details, and I welcome you to the group, especially the new people that we have joined. We get quite a few people joining each week, month, so I certainly do appreciate everyone who has joined up so far. Okay, so again, my name's Linda Pearson and I welcome you. And so tonight we are going to be looking at Seek, Gather and Create. Now, let me just get my phone out because there's a couple of pictures that I've got on here that I just want to refer to. I haven't got all the details with me, but anyway, that's okay. So Seek, Gather and Create, it's been going up for a couple of years now. I'm not sure how many years it has been going, but there are 4 hosts doing it this time, and it's Lisa Goddard, who I have been following for a while. I absolutely love what she does. She often does the 100-day project, and she's the person who really got me into weaving. I've done a lot of pages with weaving, and so that's where I sort of got that idea from. And there's another person, there's 4 ladies, Mixed Media Magpie, and Tina Hoy's Art, and Laura Dennison. So they're the 4 people who are hosting the challenge for this time anyway. And the reason I'm telling you that, because there are some stipulations if you want to be eligible for the prizes, that you obviously need to follow the prompts that they have here, but also when you upload your pictures, that I should mention too, this is an Instagram challenge. It's not on Facebook per se, it's all done through Instagram, so that's where you upload your pictures, etc. And it also means that you need to tag the at least one of the women who are following it. But if you go on to Seek, Gather and Create, if you look for that, all of the rules and regulations are on there. It's not too challenging. I personally I'm just doing it for the challenge itself, so I not necessarily, I do put the hashtag on there, but I don't think I've always put the host on, so that means that I'm not eligible for prizes, but that's okay. That's not necessarily what I'm in it for. But anyway, so there's been 2 other weeks that I have done, and I'll show you those as well. But week 3, I was quite keen to do this one too, and I thought, I might as well do that on a Wednesday and let people sort of see. If for no other reason, if you're not interested in the Seek, Gather, Create challenge per se, it's just another one of those opportunities for you to watch myself work and how I go through the process of creating the pages. So each week you're given some items, 4 items to consider and include in your challenge. So week 3 items, you've got here the colour orange. You've got to have something frayed. Number 3 is a crow, and number 4 is something burnt. So you need to include those 4 things in your challenge. So for me, I'll just show you what I've done for now. So the colour orange, I've done up a little colour swatch of different oranges. I got out my Dina Wakley oranges, so I've got the tangerine, Tangelo, Sedona, cheddar and mustard, so they're going into the yellows. But I may not use all of the 5 colours there. I just got them out because that's what I've got, and so I'll just sort of see how I go from there. Also, the crow is, I've got this picture that I found. I love doing things with faces, and I found this one with the bird as well, so I thought, I think I like that, so I'm going to incorporate that. And so for the frayed, so that's the crow. So for the frayed, I've actually coloured up some cheesecloth, and of course once I put that on the page, I'll fray that all up, and it'll be all nice and soft and scrumptious. For the burnt, I decided to use burnt sienna as some of my as part of the colouring, stenciling or whatever I choose to do. And also I've got burnt umber in a artist ink, so acrylic ink, so I'm going to be using that. So there's the burnt aspect element of the 4 requisites. So that's how I'm working on that. Also too, because I'm going with the oranges and the browns, it so reminded me, the orange and browns, I'm showing my age here, but the orange and browns really to me lend itself to going back to, I'm reminded of the retro era of decorating, the 60s, 70s, where the oranges and the browns were the big thing as far as decorating goes. So in my head then I'm starting to think about retro, and I thought I would use my Funky Fossil. Oh, sorry, I got something caught up in here. Let me just get that out. Oh, goodness me. Sorry, my Funky Fossil retro stencil. So that really reminds me of that, way back even in the Marimekko times, decorating times. So that I thought I would use as a stencil in the background, using some of these colours as well. I did, yesterday I actually did colour up and cut a few die cuts, some feathers. I don't know if I'm using them. I may just add a little bit more embellishment. I'm not sure. I did paint them up in the burnt sienna and the burnt umber, so I've already done that, coloured and pre-cut those, so they're quite pretty. They're just ornate feathers. So I'll put them aside. I'll cut 3. Who knows what I'll use. But anyway, so we'll get this out the way. But before we go on, I will show you the other 2, this weeks 1 and 2, what I did for that. Now weeks 1 and 2, the week 1 was blue, circles, fish, and what was the other word? Oh, something see-through, right. Okay, so what I did, obviously the fish is a Tracy Scott stamp that I did with blue embossing powder and then coloured it in. The circles are, I've got little circles for the fish, bubbles, and around on the frame there's circles. I've got the transparency, so it's actually a frame, transparency. So that's how I treated that first week, and so that's what I did for that week. And then for the second week, I hope I got them around the right way. The second week was a face, wings, stripes, and teal. So teal in the background, stripes in the stamping and stenciling. The face obviously is in the picture. I actually printed the picture out twice because the butterfly is on the face. So on the second picture I cut it out and I put some embossing, some embossing powder on. Sorry, I just turned my light on to make it brighter, on that as well. So that's just how I treated those 2. So that's week 1 and 2, and I'm going to be doing week 3 here. So let's get started on that. So what I do want to do though is I don't want anything getting onto that. And when I did this one, there was a lot of embossing, and because there's all embossing in the background there, you know, it all crinkled up and that kind of thing. So what I have done here is I have pre-gessoed with white. I did that at the back when I did that one, just to help. I find if you put some paint or something on the back, a medium, even a matte medium, something on the back will help to uncrinkle, you know, to bend it back. That tends to want to curl up and all that sort of thing. So that it has been pre-gessoed, and so what I'm going to do though is, because I don't want, I'm only working on a small surface and I'm going to be getting a bit messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of a border going around this page. Now, am I in camera? Because I'm going to kind of, so I don't mind that there's a little bit of a border on here. I'd rather have a border than, I just don't want paint seeping into all the other bits that I'm doing, because I know I'm going to get a little bit messy with this. So I'm only doing about a 5mm border going around. And once I've done that background, I could probably take the tape off. But I may leave it on. Okay, so now I've got that. You can see some of the background coming through there. I'm okay with all of that. So the reason why I've got a few colours out is I'm going to be doing finger painting. Okay, so I'm just going to be smushing paint all over the surface here. Now, I love the tangerine colour, the orange in the tangerine colour, but it is a bit translucent. So I'm going to start off with the Tangelo. Okay, these are Dina Wakley paints that I'm using. So can you sort of see I'm just rubbing that in. I kind of like this treatment for laying down paint because it's just so freeing, or you know, I don't want to use the word organic, but it kind of is. But anyway, but you don't, on the size that I'm using here, I'm not going to need a lot of paint. Of course I have, and because I'm using all oranges, I can sort of really get in there and just swoosh it all around, because it's not going to. I will dry this off and then go over it again, mostly because I just want a bit more depth in it. Oh, no, I want the Sedona. The Sedona's got that, oh, nice rusty sort of look about it, so it's got the depth of colour, just to give it a little bit more. Obviously, I could use different colour paints as well, as long as you put some orange in. You know, you just have to address whatever the criteria is that they put on, but you can obviously add other colours in with that. But that's why I've got a little bit of the yellow, the new mustard. I'm absolutely in love with the mustard at the moment. So I'm just going to dry that off so I can get a little bit more depth of colour in there. Liking what I've got so far, but it just needs a bit more smushing and all that kind of thing, but we'll get that with our second layer. The second layer always goes down a lot better than the first layer. And there we go. So you will get a lovely, some lovely colour happening with this. And the fact that it is a little bit bumpy underneath is pretty good too, because it's all helping with that texturizing of it. So I'll keep looking in the camera, a bit blue. I'm going to grab out some cheddar. I didn't put cheddar. Oh, grab out a lot of cheddar. Just put that over there. I don't want to get too carried away with the cheddar. So I'm just adding a little bit more. Probably can't see the cheddar so much on the screen. Put a little bit of this over here. We don't seem to have much of the depth colour over there. These colours are a little bit translucent-y, but that's okay because by the time we do some stenciling over it, so just going to have a look at that. Yep, not too bad. Let me just see, do I want to put anything? I'm just going to put a bit more of this stuff on and just sort of swish all around. Is it doing anything? I don't know. But I don't want to get too carried away because we are going to do some stenciling and that after. Just get a couple of baby wipes here because my hands are disgusting. If you don't like doing finger painting, you could use a brush or a blending tool if you wished. You could do that. Okay. I love doing this technique with yellows and oranges and reds. Oh gosh, it comes up beautiful. Just do a quick dry of that. Now I just thought of something that I wanted and I didn't get out, so just bear with me for a second. There we go. It's on top. I went through my washi tapes yesterday and I thought, oh, have I got anything with sort of browny orangey colours? So I've got this one from All and Create, and it's got some wording on it. That's another reason why I wanted it, and it's got some browny sort of colours. So I like to very loosely just put that down. Don't worry about how it rips off. So I'm just laying it down because I just want to get, and I'll put this over a few different spots. May even take that off there. So I do like it when you rip it all up like this, and you know, when you put your stenciling over it, just gives it a little bit more. What's she got underneath there? So this one's been nicely ripped on both sides, so we'll just put that there. Just make sure you rub it down. Quite often I will put a bit of matte medium over it, even though it's a great tape. Now, sometimes I will, if I'm going to be doing lots of layering over it. Just so. Let's do a little bit this time. I'm just trying to think where I'm putting the girl and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to put that right up in the top corner because that's the straight edge. And so I can put where is my girl? Where's the picture? So she'll probably go in the middle somewhere. Might put some down here. So I'll put that there, and I like to try and keep the text all facing the same way. Alright, so I've got 3 spots there. Look, I am going to get my matte medium, and honestly all I do is I just dip in. It's mostly around the edges. I just want to make sure there's no lifting, so I just do that, rub it down just to make sure I've got the edges. You can use a brush. I mean, I know sometimes it's very hard to get this stuff drying on your fingers. It can be quite yucky. Alright, so by all means use a brush, but only use a little bit of, so I'm just going to try and, I just don't want it to dry on there for me. Just dry that off a little bit. Now I may get another stencil out too. I know I'm going to use the retro, but I don't know, maybe I might use something with some letters, you know, an alphabet one or something like that. I'll do some stamping. I've kind of got an idea of what I'm doing, but it's not completely thought out, so I will put it in areas. You know, it's too big for the whole thing, but I'll just do some areas because where is she again? She's going to be there somewhere, so it might be nice to put some up in the corners there and on opposite corners. Yeah, but remembering I'll probably end up putting a couple of those on and my cheesecloth. Alright, so so that's it. So we'll get the stencil, and I've got that cheddar that I got off before, so I might use that while I've got it. And I might use, I've got a I've got a blending tool here. I've got a certain amount of these sponges that I just keep for acrylic paints, and as soon as I'm finished here I'll throw it in the water and just try and clean it off, just so I can get a few uses out of it. Now I don't have an awful lot of paint on there. Maybe I'll just put a little bit more out, so I think I need a bit more than that. I'm not sure how much it's going to show, so, and I don't want to bring in a lot of cheddar. What is it? Mustard, cheddar, or whatever it is. Okay, so I'm just going to rub that over in the corners there. Okay, you can see it a little bit. You may not see it very much, but it is there. You can use any stencil you like. I just sort of thought, you know, it reminded me of the old decorating style that we used to have back in the 70s, 60s, 70s. Some of you probably wouldn't even know what it was. Probably should have put some in the corner there, but that's okay. Maybe I will. And I think I will be using some of this on it as well. So I'll just put this on here. I just want to tone back some of that orangey bit there. Okay, so there's just a bit there. Yep, awesome. I'm just going to rip that off there. Oh. Right. I'm just looking at that. I think that was my embossing one, but anyway, that's all right. I'll get a new one if I need it. All right, so look at me rubbing off stencils. Goodness me, that doesn't happen every day. A bit naughty when it comes to stencils, doing that sort of stuff. Anyway, should have done it on that. There we go. Awesome. So we'll put that there. Okay. Now, so bright this, honestly, but then, you know, if you think about, we're going to put a few, the oranges and browns. These things are going to be the, I've done 3. I don't know if I'll use the 3. Some of them might be cut off, and that's okay. You know, I've kind of got it there. It's not until we sort of see it all, because I don't have a lot of real estate to work with for this, so I may just, I've got a problem with only using 2, but anyway, I'd rather cut them off if I have to. So yeah, it's kind of looking all right. So what I might do now is I'll grab this burnt sienna. It's a beautiful colour. It's a sort of a mid brown that really goes well with this. So I'm just going to put out a little bit of white too, just in case it's a little bit too much for me. Don't know. So I'll grab another. So I keep like I said, I keep a lot of these in a separate section, so that if I'm using acrylic paints, you know, I can just use them. So as you can see, I'm just dipping off. I might just put, just worried about it being too brown when I do this. Let's have a look. Go to, I think I want like some numbers or something, so maybe even some words, because we've got some words on that. Do I want those words? Are there any other words in here? No, I don't think so. Can't remember. Yeah, no, that'll do. That will do. Let's not overthink it, Linda. Okay. Right, so that way. Oh gosh, this is one of Natalie's very first stencils that she produced. Words. It's got inspire, create, and something. Oh, colour. There we go. All right, so we'll just do. I'll go over this side this time. So we'll just do a little bit over there. Beautiful. You probably can't see it too much. I wonder if I should. Yeah, there you go. Just a little bit, so you can sort of see, and we'll go a little bit over the side there, and then down the bottom. Okay, just a little bit. All right, so we've used the burnt sienna, which is a lovely colour. So for the burnt umber is a very, very, very deep brown. So that will be, I'm going to use that as splatters on this, and lift it up a bit there if that's okay. So I'll just give this a quick dry before we do that. Then I'll get one of my wording stamps out or something and move on to the detailing. So I try to make these as quick as possible when I'm doing these challenges, because you don't want to be sitting here all day doing these sorts of things. So I try to make it as quick. So it's just the very basic. So I've just splattered that out. Probably need a bit more, maybe a little bit of water in it. Come on, dear thing. These are Montmartre. I've only just started. This is the first time I've used this. I bought the Montmartre. Normally I prefer Liquitex, inks, but you know, they're obviously very expensive. But you know, some colours, I don't mind using the black and the white, but you know, spending the money on the black and the white because I use that all the time. There's certain colours I use a lot. Can you see I'm just sticking to the corners where I've got most of the action happening here? Put a little bit there. Yes, like I say, what was I saying? Sorry, the inks. But when you buy these Montmartre ones, they come in sets of, I think, 6 or 12. I bought the 12 set, I think. But the only problem is you can't get singles. So I probably, for that reason, won't buy these again because I know I'll go through the black and white really quickly. So, like I say, black and white, I'll pay the extra to get the liquid text because I do prefer the inks when I'm doing splatters because they're just more intense and more vibrant. And you can add a little bit of water just to give it some fluidity, but I wouldn't do much. You don't need much, and you actually get a nice shine with the liquid text. Now, like I say, I haven't used the Montmartre. This is the first time using it, so it looks, by all accounts, very similar to the liquid text as far as the end result, so maybe it will be okay. They obviously are a lot cheaper, but they are smaller bottles too. Let me just see here. What have we got here? Professional ink. So, you know, this is an artist quality. That's why it costs, this is like $25 a bottle as opposed to, I don't know what I pay. I probably paid $30 for 12. They work out to like $3 or $4 each. But they are only 20 ml, whereas this is 30 ml. Doesn't count for the... So they're both acrylic inks. Obviously, this has more pigment in it. And because of the cost and all that sort of thing, it would have more pigment. They do have a fair range of colours as well, but this will do. This will be great because I've got all sorts of colours there that I may not use all the time, so I don't mind buying the one set. And my liquid text lasts forever, except for the black and white. Okay, so that's that. We've done that, so I'm kind of happy with that. I might just go back out now. Right, there we go. So just move that to the side. Let me get rid of this before it dries. So do make sure you at least stick it in your paint water so it doesn't dry out on your bits. Okay, so what we have here is, like I said, I've actually coloured this with some Lindy's. There's a little bit of a gold fleck through there, which you probably can't see, but it does look pretty cool on here. So I've got that. I may not use all of it. In fact, let me just put her on here. Okay. I may even put some more washi tape down the bottom to anchor her down to the ground there. So I think, let me see, and if I put that there, I might put a little bit of a saying at the top there. Like I say, I don't have a lot of real estate here to be playing with. I just wanted to get ground espresso. I want to go around the picture, but I don't necessarily want to use black, I don't think, so I thought I might use that. But I think what I will do is chop this in half, because I don't think I'm going to need all of that by the time I stretch it and all that sort of thing. So, you know, that I think will be fine. So normally what I do with this kind of thing is I'm going to get 2 bits. Alright, so just bear with me here. I find this to be a much easier way of doing things when I'm wanting to stick something like this down, because it can be quite a pain to glue that onto the, you know, you get messy and it's a pain. So what I tend to do is, now I have to be real careful with this because I'm going to grab my stapler. Oops, oh there you go, stretched it already. So I'm going to put that underneath there. Come on. Okay, and might just chop that off a bit more. So if that goes there, I need something about there. Okay. I normally just stick the one on, but because there's a big hole in her head there. Right, so that just helps to stabilize it a little bit more. And the idea is then I will put glue onto that and then glue that down onto the paper. So I just got to make sure that you can't see the white bits behind there. And so, you know, I can still stretch all that out. So I'll get my good glue. Sometimes I like to opt for my Stamperia glue. I just find it's got a nice little, good tack to it. Something like that will be fine. So I'll just stick that down. I'll hold that down for a couple of seconds. You can always put more down. I will spot tack that onto the paper. I just want to get this thing down first, so at least you know it's secured in some spots. Okay, so at the moment all I'm really doing is just securing the paper to, okay, so this is still flimsy and all that kind of thing, and I can and will just put a little bit of spot. I just find this is the easiest way for me to do this kind of stuff, because it, you know, it can be quite frustrating. And that will stick on there for a bit. Okay. So I'm just going to dry that a bit. So it at least gets tacky on there. I'm hoping that will almost disappear into clear. See, it's quite tacky now, so you can see it has actually stuck down a bit, and that's good. You still have to be careful though when you're doing your, you know, fraying and all that sort of thing. So to do the fraying, what I tend to do is just go in there and chip into it a little bit. Just chip in all around. Okay, so I'll see what that's like for now. Then I'll get myself a little bit of a, you know, something to pull it with. So can you sort of see now, I'm making sure I hold that down so that it doesn't do to. Okay, so I like to pull off a few of these bits, as little or as much as you like, so it just depends on, some of them do get a bit. The fact that I have just cut it helps to do that fraying bit. If it gets matted, just cut it off, you know, it's just not worth it. It's good to have a little tool. Of course, got a part there that's got glue on it from something else and it won't fray. So I'm just cutting that off. Try not to scratch your paper underneath with your awl. Okay. Alright, so I'll just leave that like that for now. I can always cut more, pull more out if I wish to later. It's not looking frayed enough for me, but I think I've addressed the fraying section there. I'll just bring that up to camera a little bit for you. So I hope you can sort of see that. Okay, awesome. Right, now, okay, so then we have got her. So we have to put her on there somewhere, and then I'm going to have to do a little bit of something there. But before we do that, I will get I seem to have got my brushes all mixed up. That in there too to give it a wash. Alright, so let's see. Not sure how much ink is on this, but anyway, it's not something I use a lot. I have actually torn the edges there. I may go around with a little bit of a black fine line after. You've got fine things like this, it can be a bit tricky. I'm just trying to get the white paper off from me cutting it. You get that little white edge, so that's the only reason why I'm doing this. I'm not worrying too much about the strength of it. There we go. Yeah, so like I said, I actually tore the edges off there. I cut around the shape, but for the actual shoulders, I cut that off a bit. Tore it, I mean. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. So that's where we're going to sort of go with her there. All right. I mean, on something else, I'd probably put something else in here as well, but in all honesty, you know, I mean, I'm just addressing. So let me just see what I'm going to do here. So I'll probably put some words up there. I'm not quite sure what words yet. Just want to see how I can do this. Okay, so it'll be something like that, and obviously that will be cut off there. All right, so I shall, I've got this glue out, so let's just grab, oh, I'm going to leave him there. All right, so he's going to be through them. Just got to be careful because this glue comes out very quickly. It's brilliant glue, it's a Stemperia one, it's a collage glue. But I just find it's really very, don't need a lot, but it's very gluey, you know, sticks well. Don't know any words, but anyway. we'll put that a little bit there like that. Okay. Ah. Stuff on my fingers. Okay. That one there. Grab the next one. Do the same. I'm just mostly putting it on the larger areas. A little bit on some of the smaller bits. You know the drill, you don't sort of need a lot. Just want to grab it in those main parts. Just tapping it to get rid of most, oops. Got so much glue there, I tore the top off the leaf. This one will be going over the edge, so I'll be chopping it off a bit later. So I'll make sure I get some of those curlicues in. Should have put it on that edge there, so just want to lift that up a bit. Mostly so that I can just wipe that off. Kind of made that a little bit more fiddly than it needs to be. I just hope that doesn't glue on. Oh dear. Alright, let me just take this off. So hopefully that's glued on enough there now. And so I will go around the outline of her because at the moment you can't sort of see much of her face, but that's okay. So where is this? So I'll just grab some of this. Oh. Let's just put, oh, let me put that underneath there like that. Oh, did seep underneath there for a bit anyway, but that's okay. So I'm just pushing that up so I can get this underneath here. Just want to put a couple of bits here. More bits there. Alright. Alright, so we can squish all that back down again. Because I do want to put her there, and then I'll put a little bit across the bottom of her as well. So I shall start to glue her down. Oh, look at that. Of all the places for that to be. Sorry, just excuse me a minute. Just want to paint that just in case you see it through. Can't believe that because I thought it was going to be covered up. But anyway, that's all good. Yep, that one's sticking through a bit, that's okay. Alright, so I'm going to glue her down. I will glue her down because I don't want it sticking up too much. Just some little bits around. Just to make sure we get those fiddly bits there. probably use more of this glue than I really should do, because it's pretty neat glue. You don't need a lot of it, but I can't help myself. I tend to throw it around too much. Oh, now I've got it all over her. Oh. Anyway, so I'm just going to put her a little bit off center. She's got a few little gluey bits on her there, and that's okay. So I'm just going to So by doing this now, I've got her covered up. I am going to put a bit of glue on that because I don't feel very comfortable with how that's sitting there. This way I can make sure it doesn't Now some of that paper's gone over the border there, and that's cool. I'm not worried about that. Dry that off a bit. Ordinarily I might have put something under her to make her stand out. I haven't bothered with this. I am just going to put, oh look, I can see that brown through all that. Okay. And because I'm so anal, I'm going to have to do this. Where is it? Oh, what have I done with the ink? There it is. Okay. After all that white paper shone through. Okay, that's just me being pedantic. Doesn't need to be done. Alright, so I'll dry that off. And I will get a black pen. I just want a fine pen. So I'm just going to go around here a little bit. I'm just doing some just some lines so that you don't sort of see them much. You'd have to be really close up to see them. But I'm going to come down along here because this is where the bird is, but I'm not going to do too much more than that. And I'm only going to do a little bit of a line coming through there. Bring that down around her neck there, and just doing that, not much more than that. Just a little bit of highlighting here because her face is going around there. I don't think I will go around. You can see her eyes there. I just don't think, I don't know, I'll have to think about that. So when you see the picture on the on Facebook, you may see it covered in. I'm just not sure if I feel confident enough to do it, or whether, you know, I'm going to mess it up. So sometimes less is best. So that's probably how I'm sort of thinking at this stage with this. All right, so I'll just bring that up a little bit. Yeah, so you can't sort of see. It's probably too dark a picture for the camera, but it's looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do is take this off. Now, if you struggle with ripping it off, put some heat on it, and that'll loosen up the glue, and it'll come off nice and easy. I have got, find some words here that I might be able to use. Haven't got a lot of room. Don't want to spend too much time looking at it. I did have some out. Here we go. Yeah. How about this? Focus on what's good, even if today feels tough. This poor girl's got a crow flying through her head, so I think she's having a tough day. So I'm just going to chop this down a little bit. Okay. Don't like to have excess paper around my words, because I want the words to stand out, not the paper. Okay. Focus. There we go. Focus on what's good. Oh dear, I didn't cut that very well. Even if today is tough. So am I putting that there? Yep. Putting it there like that. That'll do. Gosh. I'll grab this glue. Don't need much. Focus on what's good. Okay. Even if today is tough. Even if today feels tough. I'm sure we've all had days like that. Now grab my pen, and I'm going to go around this border, do a couple of times, because I like that sort of hand-drawn feel. And I'm just going straight over those little bits. Over there. Okay. Just doing a little bit of a white outline around the words, just to help them to stand out a little bit. My pen doesn't want to work terribly well. So I've been going for, not even, just about an hour. Okay, so look, I don't know. I didn't do any stamping on that, did I? Oh well, I might just, because I can't help myself. I'm just going to grab. Silly me. I knew there was something I was missing. So I'm just going to grab a little bit. Okay, and look, you know, if I'm not happy with the way that that's threaded, I can pull that out more if I wish, but I think it looks pretty frayed to me, so I'm happy with that. So pretty much that is it. Where is it? Oh, so you've got your seek, gather, create. Okay, so that's pretty much, that's my interpretation of the 4 elements that they've asked you to work on there. And so give it a go. Like I say, on Instagram, it's not on Facebook. You have to go to Instagram and check them out, and because there is another hashtag too, seek, gather, create 2024, so you've got to put both of those in there. But have a look at it and see what you think, and I thank you for joining me tonight. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with what I've done there, and yeah, so it's only taken me an hour. Okay, so thanks guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and supporting me, and I thank you. And this will go up on my YouTube account, my YouTube channel I mean, so just search for Inspired Art Journaling. I'm really wanting to get some more subscribers on there. It's free to subscribe, but I really need to build up my fan base on the YouTube channel as well, so I can do some more lives, etc. on there. But I appreciate it, so please pass the word around, and I thank you and hope you all have a great night. See you. Bye bye. Love you.